At Trinity Skin and Beauty, we believe in making you feel your best. Whether you're looking to smooth, refresh, or rejuvenate, we offer expert waxing and luxurious facials tailored just for you. Experience our signature facials that hydrate, brighten, and nourish your skin. Feel the stress melt away with every touch. Say goodbye to unwanted hair with our quick, professional waxing services, leaving you smooth and confident. Relax, revive, rejuvenate. Visit Trinity Skin and Beauty today, where beauty meets relaxation. Call Calandra today at 601-953-9476 and book your appointment. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, and Happy New Year. It's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome back award-winning journalist and host of Listen In with KNN, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
Hi, Sonia. Happy New Year. It's so great to be back with you. And I love this new intro. I'm like, I'm back strong. Love it.
Happy New Year, my friend. How are you doing?
I am well. It's my world is always crazy. Here, I'm breathing, sports are moving, so I'm good.
I know, absolutely. How was the holiday with the parents?
It was good. My parents actually got to come. So I think I can't remember if I announced it on this show, but I started doing color commentating now for American University women's basketball.
Yes.
So we got to a game when they played Howard. So that was great for them to see me in action. It was busy, but it was good. I feel like I finally got the 8 hours of sleep a couple of nights that I needed. So my skin is glowing like it needs to again. Right. The bags are gone.
Exactly. Congratulations on that. I saw that last week. I was like, that's my girl. She is moving and shaking. I love it. So, Kelsey, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a few things that's been going on in the news lately. And one thing, the NFL wildcard games are starting on Saturday, and there will be some pretty good matchups. Don't you agree?
Oh, I'm excited. So in my neck of the woods, I've been busy. I've been talking about these games because, we have two teams now that'll be playing this weekend. So, of course, the Baltimore Ravens, who might not be a surprise to folks. I think they went into the season, Sonia, as a Super Bowl favorite. Many people feeling like they had unfinished business from last year. We'll never forget that game in Baltimore and the Chiefs moving on. Just disappointment on a lot of the fans' hearts in Baltimore. But Lamar Jackson, who I do believe is MVP, like Derrick Henry said, MV3 this season, what he'll be able to do. And honestly, I'm excited, this Baltimore team going against a well-known foe in the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, if you want to be great, why not? You have to go through the tough battles. And, I know folks are saying Pittsburgh's on, not playing the best football right now, but if AFC football, if Ravens Steelers game, that's going to be a good one. And then of course, Jaden Daniels and what he's done for DC, a 12-win season, something we haven't seen since before I was born in 91 here in DC. It's really wild, to see a Commanders team that was expected to finish last in the division with the Giants is now the talk of the town, especially lots of questions about, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and concussion and, all that stuff. Everyone's talking about what Jaden Daniels has been able to do for this Commander squad and Dan Quinn, rightfully so, as well as the new regimen, right? And leadership finally making things go. So I'm excited for obviously both those games, especially Baltimore, since it's here in Baltimore. But Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield going against Jaden Daniels. It should be a good story because Baker Mayfield too, just a guy that's really had to work, I think, to really show the league I still got it. So it should be good games.
So, Kelsey, you mentioned Lamar. Will Lamar overcome the ghost of playoff pass?
Isn't that the question everyone's asking? Everyone's talking about here, all the Ravens Super Bowls that the quarterbacks were 28 years old and they've been 12 years apart. And so they're saying Lamar is due because he just turned 28 and you look at the last Super Bowl, right? You have to go back to 2012.
Right.
I will say, Lamar, let's be honest, from the time he was drafted last in the first round to the time he was going through the combine and everyone just again talking about if he should change positions. Like
Mhm.
he is so used, I feel like, to hearing this negative commentary of what he can't do.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is a guy, he doesn't get in any trouble. His head's down, very private person. Everyone in Baltimore is still talking about how he's been winning since his mama cussed him out and told him. Lamar is a guy that he loves the game. And
Yeah.
he knows he's special. The guys around him know he's special. And so I think for Lamar, it's again up to him. I think we're in awe every time we watch him because we know he makes the incapable capable. There's a reason why the GOAT, Tom Brady, like he fanboys over Lamar Jackson every time he talks about him or he's ever calling a Ravens game because he's that. I think for Lamar, I think it would be special. If he doesn't get the Super Bowl this year, though, I'm not taking away any Lamar Jackson's greatness. I know it's going to happen. Baltimore knows it's going to happen with Lamar. Now, this would be a great year when you got Derrick Henry next to you and the dump truck that we know he can be at that running back position. When he hits. Derrick Henry is special. I crown him every game. But I do think this is a special moment for Lamar again because of how last year left a bad taste in the mouth and really how the monkey on his back has really been, in the AFC, it's getting past who? It's getting past Kansas City. And so I think if he can finally do that, what are the haters going to say next? Like, I think it was Mark Ingram. That's like, what they going to say now? That's going to kind of be the next thing for Lamar Jackson. But again, I think this Ravens squad is special. And I think Lamar put so much on his back. But to me, honestly, I think this will be more telling about the Ravens team as a whole. Because if we're honest, last year, there was a lot of questions about coaching. There's questions about John Harbaugh. And again, I think John Harbaugh is loved, but I think people know it's so much more than just Lamar, right? Finally, the Ravens weapons, though he will be out without Zay Flowers. I saw that news. Of course, all of us were like, when Zay went down in that last game for Baltimore, that they won big against Cleveland. But all in all to say, like, if Lamar gets it, good. But I'm not going to be one of those people that are just going to keep, pointing to that. Yes, I want him to get it, but he's still so great and so special. And I just know it's going to come. But it would be very nice if we were this year. They're also saying in Baltimore, remember, last time Beyonce performed in the Super Bowl, the Ravens were there. Beyonce just performed at a Ravens game when they beat the Texans. So there's also people thinking that Beyonce's good luck for Baltimore, and they're hoping it's on Lamar Jackson.
It's going to be interesting. So, I know that's your team, but who wins on this weekend?
This is a tough one. I keep getting asked. And like I said, I am not putting away the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like when you look at them, they like to put pressure on Lamar. And Lamar, as good as he is, he just has to be careful with that football. This is going to be hard-nosed, tough, down to the wire thing football. This is a game you can't have any turnovers or mistakes, right? So that means Lamar Jackson can't have any interceptions. He can't have any fumbles. And TJ Watt and that defense and what we know that they can do. It's going to be I think there's going to be a lot of attention on the Ravens offensive line and, how they're going to be able to block. But also for Lamar, he's probably going to have to get that football out of his hands fast. Also, being without Zay Flowers, I think is huge. But Mark Andrews really being a guy that has stepped up. At the beginning of the season, there was questions about, is Mark back from injury? Like, can he really be that guy? Isaiah Likely, I don't think gets talked about enough either in that tight end position. And another sure-handed guy. I think the tight ends are going to have a lot more on them, but also the Ravens receivers. What are they going to be able to do without, with the absence? Say Bateman and other people needing to step up. So I do think the Ravens can win this game, but again, they're going to have to play mistake-free, clean football. And this Ravens defense is going to have to show up and show out as they have recently been. And I think for Baltimore, if they win this game, expect the defense to get a turnover for Baltimore. They've been playing really well, and I think coming into their own during this time frame.
Are they playing? They're playing in Pittsburgh, right?
No, it's in Baltimore.
They're playing in Baltimore?
Remember, Baltimore won that last game. And that was in Baltimore. So they got the T-shirts, they got the hats, the newspaper.
I know. Because around, last year around this time, they hadn't lost a game at all in the arena.
I am so sorry, Sonia. My webcam literally just died when things maybe that's the Lamar Jackson effect. My webcam got scared all of a sudden. No, but the game, I think, being at home, hopefully, there we go. So sorry about that. It's not happening.
Okay.
I guess the Ravens defense scares a lot of things in technology. But, I think that game, being in Baltimore, the bank, again, if people have been to Baltimore, in Under Armour and know the brand, protect this house lives in M&T Bank Stadium. The fan noise in Baltimore is something special. So expect that to be a factor too. These are two teams that also know the cold weather well. And it's hard. It's cold here. So yeah, we just had a snowstorm, right? Like it's cold, it's icy, it's blistering weather, but it's football conditions. And so I think a lot's going to be on, of course, Russell Wilson, right on the other side of the football. And there's been a lot of questions about him. But I do think this is Baltimore's game to win or lose. I think all ties in Baltimore. I especially like Baltimore if they're able to get out and score quick. I don't want them to play from behind. So if they're able to get out and score quick, I think that'll be very telling.
Yeah, well, we shall see. You mentioned another talented quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Yesterday, he returned to practice after since entering a concussion protocol 17 days ago. How do you think his teammates and the Eagles organization is feeling about potentially him coming back this weekend?
My gosh, Jalen is special. And I think because we've had so much great quarterback play, he doesn't get it. And let me tell you, Eagles fans have not been grateful for the quarterback they have. I think there's been a lot of chatter. Jalen Hurts, and it's come on, y'all. Like Jalen is playing his game. Now, is he perfect? No quarterback is perfect. But if there's a quarterback, and this is an Eagles team, remember, folks, they're not too far removed from a Super Bowl appearance. I was there. Like, I think we have to give them, grace and credit for that. But I think having him there is huge because he contributes kind of like Lamar, right? He contributes to that run game as well as that passing game. And so I think when he's there, the defense has to account for more. You saw the difference in that game. They were playing the Commanders. That's right. When Jalen got that concussion. And it was a different ball game, right? When Jalen Hurts was out, the Commanders went on to win that ball game. Because again, you have to account differently. So I think all in all to say, Jalen Hurts matters for the Eagles. I think without Jalen Hurts on the Eagles squad, it's hard for you to advance them securely. You feel a lot different. So I think getting him back would be, and also he's hungry. He knows. He also knows the narrative that's being said about him. Philly is a hard place to play in, so I think he knows the pressure that lies upon him. But I think having him back with the receivers that he has around him, somebody that can for sure deliver the football, Jalen Hurts makes a difference in that game.
That is absolutely true. So who wins against those two?
All right, remind me who the Eagles are playing. I'm forgetting that quickly because my mind has been on Baltimore and
you know what? I forgot. Who?
Let me see. Hold on.
I thought he said something.
Eagles playoffs.
I'm sorry, y'all. My dog is usually who?
Oh, sorry. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that's like Green Bay. Of course, the team I hate the most. No, I usually have her up, but I forgot to put her up, and she scared me. So, because she came in here, and I'm sorry, y'all.
You're fine.
So, who wins between those two?
I'm going to still give the edge to Philly just because I think Green Bay has been a little bit more inconsistent for me. So, yeah, but I think that'll be a good one. Again, Jalen Hurts makes a difference and it matters. But again, the Eagles are still stacked. You look at that roster, especially that defense, like they can still make a difference. So I still like Philly in that one.
So what other games are you most excited to see, or who's gonna make a big splash? With the wild card, I mean, you never can tell what's gonna happen. So
I mean, that's what's fun about football, though, right? That's why
I love it. Any given Saturday or Sunday.
That part, we love those games. I think there's going to be a lot of. I think the Houston Texans are going to be an interesting one to watch because they got so much hype last season, right? Like we were so excited about CJ Stroud, and I think this season it's been a bit more quiet. I think the routine that folks are still figuring out. So I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch. I told you everybody in my neck of the woods is so excited about Pittsburgh and Baltimore. If you love hard-nosed, hard-hitting football, that's going to definitely be I think the Vikings are going to be another interesting one on Monday just because I feel like the Vikings, that last game, right, we saw against the Lions, and I was telling this to my friend, I think they got exposed a bit. Like, they're not invincible. And how fun, my gosh, is Detroit to watch. Like Dan Campbell, what he's done for that squad. We get another good year.
I am fanning for the Lions right now, and I am a Bulls and a Bears fan.
Yeah.
I know better, but I mean, now I would never fan for the Packers. I hate them, but Detroit
Rightfully
is
so.
on fire.
They're so
I so
fun.
love them. It's so
Quality
fun to watch them.
they are like that's the teams. I'm like that's definitely the one. Like I don't know how you cannot be a Lions fan. I think that's definitely one. But again, I would tell a lot of folks watch Jaden Daniels because again, he's a rookie. I feel like I have to remind folks that he's a rookie trying to
Yeah.
do something that hasn't been done in Washington in so long. You know, Washington lost in the playoffs in 2020. I was
Mhm.
working for the team. Then they actually played Tampa Bay at that time too. If you guys remember, it's a Tom Brady Buccaneers squad.
Right.
But like I would watch Baker. Like I said, Baker Mayfield's trying to kind of rewrite his story and narrative. And Baker is a quarterback that's actually plays well against the blitz. And so I think Washington's defense, it's going to be interesting. You know, how will guys like Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, like, you know, how will Washington's game plan adjust? And again, I think, you know, will this be another legend in the game making
Mhm.
for Jalen? I mean,
Interesting.
you know, at this part in his because he's so young. I think there's such high expectations placed upon him. But I think this is going to be a really great learning experience for him. But if he beats Tampa Bay, I think the league people got to put their eyes on Washington in this DC squad. So
I agree.
excited for that
I
one.
agree. And I like him too. I like that young man. I
Yeah, he's a
love his
mama's boy
relationship.
too. We love that in
Yeah,
DC.
I love his relationship with his mom. I
Yep,
like that.
yep.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, it's cold down here too. We had a little sleet earlier.
Hmm.
They're looking at a little snow possibly, but
Oh,
I'm gonna be in the house all weekend. It is freezing. It'll be 20 degrees tonight. That's
see, that's
cold for us.
crazy. Look, that's cold anywhere. I'm like ready for the cold to go. Like I
Yeah.
want to be in the house. I'm only gonna stop. I'm going to the UConn page. UConn's coming here for women's basketball to play Georgetown, and
Oh,
so
that's
yes,
gonna be
shout
nice.
out to the women hoops games that have been happening. I know we had to reschedule this show because I was at USC in Maryland, which was everything it lived up to.
Mhm.
Maryland getting their first loss of the season, but I will just say like it's such a fun time right now for women's hoops. I hope people are supporting and watching.
Yeah.
Lots of talent, lots and lots of talent.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, speaking of hoops, number one will be a permanent fixture in the United Centers Raptors
Ah,
and Chicago Bulls history. The Bulls announced on Saturday that Derrick Rose number one jersey will be officially retired next season, making him the fifth player in franchise history to receive the honor, along with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Jerry Sloan, and Bob Love. Rose retired in September after 16 years in the league. He's a true Windy City legend. 2010-11 youngest NBA MVP in history, three-time NBA All-Star, one-time All-NBA first team selection, and 2008-09 Rookie of the Year. Kelsey, what are your thoughts on Rose's illustrious 16 years in the league? What are your thoughts on him?
where do you begin with Derrick Rose? I mean, I feel like all of us remember the person that made us love basketball or who made us
Yes.
special. And in fact, when Derrick Rose first started playing, I was graduating high school, I believe, yeah, at the time.
Okay, you know what? You don't have to stop right there. Stop right there. She said, I was graduating high school. High school?
But it was special. That's why I remember it. Like Derrick Rose. I mean, who didn't have a Derrick Rose jersey? I mean, who wasn't going home? Like it was must watch TV. And of course, his
Absolutely.
career didn't end the way that a lot of us wanted it to end. And I know the injury bug was there, you know,
Yes.
and you hate it happen. But the special moments he gave us, and you talked about the name. I mean, it's part of a storied franchise. Like I mean, Derrick Rose, I feel like he made you fall in love with the game again,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's he was that type of special. You know, I hope the young kids now, what are they, Gen X, Gen Z, whatever they are. I hope they really go like watch the highlight film, watch the highlight tapes, because I mean, Derrick
Right.
Rose brought so many eyes, to the game. I mean, he was at the high of highs. He was like the top player
Yeah.
the game at one time. And again, I hate the injuries derailed, but what he gave us was great. And again, I wish the end could have been a bit better for him, but I love the farewell tour that Chicago is giving him,
Absolutely.
rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Every moment of this, love the young one is next to his side as well while this happens. So you can see Pop's greatness, though.
Mhm.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Derrick Rose, a true legend of the game.
Absolutely. So, Kelsey, had he not gotten hurt
The
while
injury.
with the Bulls, do you think they could have made another run for a championship or another dynasty?
I mean, anytime a great player doesn't get, you don't have the injury history in it. I think, of course, you have to give him a chance at it, right? So,
Yeah.
again, that's what I hate. I just hate whenever we talk about him, we do have to bring that up, right? It's just like, we had what I wouldn't say what could have been because we saw the greatness, but
Yeah.
it's just what could have been more essentially, right? With that, so I do think definitely you have to give them a chance for sure, for sure. I mean,
Mhm.
Derrick Rose was special. Like, what
So
people,
special.
I know he's not the same player, but like how we know Wemby is special and like just a generational player. That was Derrick Rose at a time, like just that special, in the game. And again,
We
I just hate that, always gonna have like, what could have been more with
right.
Rose.
And does his jersey being retired, does that solidify him in the talks of a Hall of Famer?
Ooh, now this is a good one. Oh, the Hall of Fame. Look at you choosing violence with this. I mean, to me, how many, I mean, if you talk to athletes, I do a lot of my show, Listen with KNN. I talk to a lot of former athletes, and
Mhm.
that's like having a jersey retired, like that's a different type of special. Like
Different type
that's not
of
even
thing.
just on a pro level. If you're in high school and have your jersey retired, if you're in college and
That's,
have
yeah,
your jersey
that's dope.
like any level, like
Right.
that's special. That's yours. I think for those of us who watched him at his high of highs, um, it's hard to say he shouldn't. And what he
Yeah.
meant for Chicago, what he meant for that team. And when you look at the Hall of Famers now, too, I think it's just a little bit different. I would definitely, I would have to give him the nod. I would. I know you're
Mhm.
going to say yes too because you love Chicago sports, but I mean, how do you not? And again, I know there's going to be folks saying, like I don't know, but I I think you have to. I mean, like I said, Derrick Rose was on a different level at
Yes,
a
it was.
time, and made the game greater.
It was when he came to the Bulls, it was like we thought it was the second coming
Yeah.
of Michael Jordan, not Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan esque.
Right.
And we were excited. And when the injuries happened, it was just like such a letdown. It really was. But so thankful to see him. He was amazing. And like you said, very special. For the time that he came out, it was just like he brought a different wave of basketball. It was just
Yeah.
he brought a different light, and I hated it got dimmed a little bit, while he was still with Chicago, but
Right.
he did very well. I followed him to the Knicks or whatever. I cheered because he was with the Knicks.
Right.
He did pretty good with them. So I'm excited for his future, even though
Yeah.
you never know, he may become a sports analyst or
I
uh
can see that. Knows the game at the top level.
yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't mind
so
calling a game with him one day.
yeah, that would be dope. So, congratulations, Derrick Rose. I'm gonna put it up tomorrow. I forgot to put it up this past weekend. I actually did a photo shoot in the number one jersey,
Oh,
and
nice. I didn't think of
when he
that.
first, this was his first year, so I got to put it up. But yeah, I'm say we're retiring our jersey coming up next year. So
Nice.
kudos to him. Kudos to him. So as you know, it's been so much talk about Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless in the last week.
Yeah.
However, I want to mainly focus on the allegations against Joy Taylor.
Yeah.
Um, Joy Taylor is accused of, in a lawsuit, engaging in sexual relationships with a Fox Sports executive, allegedly leading to preferential treatment in her role on Undisputed. The lawsuit also claims that Taylor dismissed concerns about inappropriate behavior from the executive and threatened a former employee with termination if she spoke about the alleged misconduct. Allegations in the lawsuit include claims of sexual harassment, workplace bullying, and threats of retaliation against those who raise concerns about the alleged behavior. Kelsey, with those allegations against Joy Taylor, does this does these negative dynamics have an impact on strides that women have made in sports settings?
Great question. Yeah, I will say, like, since the story broke, it's honestly been disheartening to see what folks have been putting on
Yeah.
social media. I've had to kind of just refrain myself
Hmm.
from engaging and just I think people will take any opportunity to barrage and belittle Black women. And
Yeah.
this again is to say these are allegations, right?
Hmm.
Nothing this has to go through a whole lawsuit. I am one of those people too that's smart enough to know I'm not putting anything on social because they have allegations.
Hello.
Such as, there's things you can be sued for, folks. Again, if you say
Yes.
things about people. So all that to say, and I know Joy Taylor, right? Not when she was on FS1, but when she was on Fox Sports Radio, had a chance to go on her show. And I will say she really has been somebody. She had a women's party at Super Bowl every year. She was somebody that really, I will say, uplifted women in a way, right? And I only
Right.
know, mostly I met her virtually, I met you, I think, right, virtually, getting a chance to connect. So I do want to say that, but I will say, I just hate when people try to use one thing and try to say, oh, that's what J. Paul do. I feel like so many of me and my colleagues, maybe even you, have experienced this, but I feel like people just want to be oh, so is this what all women do? And it's no, especially for me, if you follow me on social, I try to be as, and this, I try to be as transparent as possible, the journey and where I am, what I'm doing. I work a lot. And I think I will say I have earned every opportunity.
Yes.
Hard work and networking. Folks that know me know I maximize 24 hours in a day. I have multiple jobs, and I value and pride myself on doing things the right way. One, because I represent myself, but then two, also, like I said, I have been given the gift of helping to teach the next generation. And I don't take that lightly. I'm teaching the next generation of sports journalists. I think because there are still a lot of misogyny and people who don't want women in sports. And because there's been this attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, people are trying to use this as an example to say, hey, I told you so. But again, the Malcolm X quote lives rent free in my head. The most unprotected, disrespected person in America is the black woman. That lives rent free in my head every day. And as someone who knows she has to prove herself every day in spaces where, I've had to essentially work hard as hell to get in, because the door wasn't just come in. It just hurts that it feels like already as a Black woman, I know we already feel like we have to prove ourselves 10 times more, where it feels like, with this, again, just haters, naysayers, just people who just want to be negative, are just trying to use this in every way, shape, or form to tear, women down in this industry. And so, I've been saying as much for those folks that know a woman's journey in sports, uplift her this week. She might get a little bit more love this week. Say her name, be a true ally, be a true advocate for spaces, because it's not easy. I don't know if it's going to get, I don't think it's going to get easier. If anything, this probably has made people uptight. Because again, I think there's more people questioning Black women's value and worth in these spaces. And it's heartbreaking because so many women have done the work, have paid the dues, and are still searching for opportunities that might not ever come. And so it's a hard pill to swallow, because I think, again, you could work hard as you want, but opportunity, opportunity isn't promised. For me, kind of what guides me in my work, I want access to opportunity for all, because it's not a thing for all. So I say all that to say, it's been a rough week. It's been a rough week again.
Yeah.
I think just mental health wise, again, that's why even on social, I've had to refrain myself from comments. Because, there's those people that always want to pull you in. And I had the Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. And so I've had to keep trying to go higher as possible. But again, this is just an unfortunate situation that people, because of social media culture, has just been pulled and dragged and turned into every which way. And I think people have unfortunately been waiting to drag her name, and they are using this opportunity to do so. That's what it seems like to me. It's social media can be so nasty. As much as I love it and it's been helpful for me in my
own. It can be very nasty. It can be very nasty. It's a lot of miserable people out there. And so misery truly does love company.
It does.
I actually had an opportunity to talk on DD in the morning on yesterday at K104 in Dallas.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we discussed the Joy Taylor situation. And one of the things that they asked me, should she step down? And I'm like, well, they're allegations. I mean, it hasn't been proven that this has even been done. And Skip Bayless isn't going to step down.
Well, he's already gone too, right? Isn't he gone? But Skip is gone already, right? Because I know the show is done. Well, I think he's still named a lawsuit because he was, he was there at the time. But I think Skip is already done.
No. What I'm saying is he wouldn't have stepped down.
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't have put that pressure on him.
Well, he wouldn't step down. And, so it's just like, not until proven guilty, but this will follow her for the rest of her career, whether it was true or not, because bad news travels fast anyway.
It does.
So they're going to look for that. And although, and like I mentioned yesterday, although the allegations against her are damaging, women and women of color have done have made significant strides in sports journalism
Yeah.
through
You've
the
got
years.
her,
I
you've
mean,
got one
period.
pioneer behind you. I mean, talk about it.
Phyllis George was the first female sportscaster in 1975 for a major network, and Jane Kennedy came right behind her. She
Yep.
filled her space. And so, what's amazing though is the fact that people are still trying to adjust to women in sports settings 50 years later.
Yeah. It's like you
50
can't make
years
this
later.
stuff.
And
I
it's crazy. And, and so I don't think this is a setback for women in sport. I'm like you. I feel sorry for her because of all the backlash. Because no, we don't know for sure what's going on.
right,
So
allegations and a lot.
it's allegations,
Let
y'all. So
let stuff play out in court, folks.
relax is all I can say. Relax. I mean, so let me ask you this. Do you think it's still common for women to sleep with executives to make it up the corporate ladder in this day and age in 2025?
I mean, it's hard to answer because, of course, like you just don't know, right? Like again, because I'm
Yeah.
one of those people. Like I work so much, I feel like my nose is down. So like even when I heard this, I'm like, what in the world? Like people were hitting on my. I'm like, it came like again, kind of came out left park. I mean, I think honestly, I don't think it's just in sports. I think if I'm being honest, I think if people are in workplaces, I mean,
Mhm.
we're how far removed from the Ime Udoka situation with like sleeping with a subordinate. I think it happens in all types of workplaces, but I
Yeah.
think so. For me, I'm driven by like integrity like drives me. Like I said, I want people to know like I worked for this. Like I want people
Right.
to see it when they read my bio, like they see the trajectory.
Mhm.
But I also understand that not everybody's driven by that. And I also know that when people want something, people are driven by different things and people sometimes will do anything, right? Like, that's why we're
Yeah.
all different people, different strokes for different folks. So I do think it happens. But at the end of the day, can you look at yourself? Can you look at your family,
Mhm.
right? Can you look at your kids? Can you look at people who love you? For what you do. Like I pride myself in being able to do that for myself. But again, everybody's value of self-worth
Everybody see that's
looks
true. It's
different.
different.
So, but again, if you go up that way, I will say how you get in, is it going to keep you there? So again, anybody that maybe has done that, will it keep you there? To me, I think talent um,
Mhm.
and work ethic for me is huge. I think talent and work
Mhm.
ethic will be things that keep you there. I don't know anybody that's been in a situation, but if they had, I would like to ask them, did it keep them there, right? Because it seems like after a while that probably would get old, and I really just don't see how it would value somebody. But again, we live in a world where people have all types of desires. We live in a world where people don't honor their oaths, obviously to their
Mhm.
loved ones that they take at the altar. Like so, it's just unfortunate that like this is a thing, um,
Mhm.
that exists. But I think people should be very careful because again, it's a messy situation, and there's
Yeah.
other stakeholders involved who aren't named in the lawsuit, right? Like the
Mhm.
executive that was named is married, right? Like he has a whole wife that maybe found out on social media, like
Yeah.
the rest of the world.
Well, I hope he had enough respect for her to tell her before.
Hopefully, because finding out on social
Hopefully.
media is not the way anybody wants to find
Yeah,
out anything.
that's not the way to go.
Yeah.
They asked me this question yesterday, and I'm going to ask you too. They asked me, have I ever been in a harassment situation? And in 2015, she say sports was actually supposed to start, and it
Mhm.
was going to be on this platform. Um, and the person that had the platform, was kind of making little remarks to me and saying stuff, and I had made it clear to him I'm not interested, blah blah blah, and he kept making me uncomfortable, so I decided not to do it.
Mm,
And from for I didn't she say sports didn't come to fruition until 2018 because if I couldn't do it the way I wanted to do it and not
do
feel
it. Mhm.
harassed, I was not going to do it. So I'm asking you, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you were being harassed?
Yeah. This is a sad, unfortunate reality, but I think I honestly I have been. It's something I don't like always share
Mhm.
openly. It's
Mhm.
something I try to share with my mentees. And folks that want it, it's like the tough, real conversation that women have with each other. And it's unfortunate, right? Like people will sometimes try to use their power, or what they have. Again, for me, it's integrity, like none of that. But I think, and that's kind of why I think I've really put myself in an advocate space, Sonia. Like that's why I'm so involved with the National Association of Black Journalists. That's why I'm so involved with the Washington Association of Black Journalists. That's why I run internship programs and mentorship programs, because I think in my mind, the best thing that I can do is hopefully make sure that other people don't have to go through that, or if they are ever in those situations, know how to react, right? And so I think I've been privileged though that I've had a lot of great male mentors, who also sometimes will give you the rail. And it's just an unfortunate situation, but again, it happens, and that's why it's like this industry. That's why it makes you so tough. It just does, because there's so many things I think that you navigate and go through, but you push through and you prevail through, and you leave. I mean, I worked for the Commander. I worked for the Commanders right after everything broke, or the Washington football team at the time, right when everything broke was right when I was coming in. So. I feel like I've been in situations where I've come in after things have happened and have kind of had to level set and make sure folks know. So got a hard reality. And I just hate that this is so many women's experience. I really do.
Yeah, you're right. I do too. We will be keeping up with this story, I'm sure. That's all I got to say. I mean,
yeah, I know. I feel like we need a better note to end on. We need something.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play our game. We're gonna play our game.
Okay, there we go. We need some. I don't want people to think we're gonna make everything.
I know. We're like, okay, thanks. So. Our game, what you know. This is a way for the listeners to get to know the guests better. I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the best answer.
Okay.
Which team holds the record for the most wins in a single regular season? Is it the Bulls, the Lakers? Oh, and this is NBA. Warriors or Celtics?
It's Warriors, right? Because most recently, I was like, I'm old enough to remember that Golden State squad.
Okay, so yes, they had 73 wins in 2015-2016 season. However, they did not win the championship that year. The Bulls had 72, and we won that year. So I don't think it counts. But
half a point.
Anyway. Who is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA history? Is it MJ, Steph Curry, LeBron, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
This one's actually tricky because I know records are always getting broken, and of course, your mind goes MJ. LeBron is what, 20 years in? And he said the all-time.
Look, LeBron started playing in the NBA when he was 13.
I mean, think about that. LeBron, right? He's 20 years in, and then you have LeBron.
It's LeBron. 40,000. It's 40,474 points and counting.
Wild. And I feel like we're getting a couple more seasons from LeBron. So
I really do. I think so too. Which player scored 100 points in a single NBA game? Was it Kobe, MJ, Wilt Chamberlain, or Steve Nash?
Wilt Chamberlain, right? Yep. I know 81 was Kobe.
March 2nd, 1962. Wilt Chamberlain.
Special.
Which NBA team has the most championships? Is it the Lakers, Celtics, Bulls, or Warriors?
Celtics now. Yeah, Celtics.
Celtics has 18. That is correct. Which NBA coach has the most career wins? Is it Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Greg Popovich, or Red Auerbach?
Greg is coming to mind, but is it Greg?
Who?
Greg is coming top of mind. It is Greg. Okay, good.
Greg Popovich. He has 1,388 wins.
That's wild, but gotta love.
You know what? I love him. I'm not a San Antonio fan, but when I say I have the utmost respect for that man, I love Popovich. Oh, I love him so much. Which team was the first to go undefeated in an entire playoff run? Was it the Warriors, the Bulls, Lakers, or the Celtics?
The first to go undefeated. I want to say the Bulls. I'm like, no, not Bulls. I'm trying to read your face. I'm like, you're not giving me anything. So maybe it's okay. Remind me. Okay, you said it was Warriors, Bulls. Who are the other two? Celtics,
Lakers, or the Celtics?
What's it? What's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's Warriors?
The Warriors' 16-1 record in 2017 playoffs.
Very recent. Okay.
Which NBA team drafted Larry Bird? Was it the New York Knicks, the Lakers, Celtics, or the Pistons?
Celtics.
In 1978, that is correct. Who was the first foreign-born player to be selected first overall in the NBA draft? Was it Dirk Nowitzki, Yao Ming, Hakeem Olajuwon, or Manute Bol?
This is a tough one. First foreign born. I think of their ages. Dirk doesn't seem that old.
Huh?
I'm trying to just think of their ages. I'm like, Dirk doesn't seem that old. Not Dirk.
That old.
I'm not Dirk.
There you go. It's not Dirk.
Him out. You said Hakeem Olajuwon. Who was the other one? Yao Ming
and Manute Bol.
Mine's going to Yao. What was it?
You said Yao Ming?
No, it's not. I can tell from your face. It's not Yao Ming.
Look, I gotta get a poker face. Look.
Was it Manute? No. Okay, who's the one I missed then?
Hakeem.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon. He was selected first overall pick from Nigeria in 1984.
I love it. And one of your friends. Look at NBA Africa now.
I know.
Amazing.
Which team holds the record for the longest winning streak in NBA history? Is it the Bulls, the Lakers, Celtics, or the Pistons?
Bulls. Cool. I'm like, you're a Chicago person, but I love how you're trying to hold your face.
I'm trying not to let you see my face.
Not Bulls, so is this? Oh, Bull. Can I go back to Bulls? It's not. I forgot the other two you said. Oh, Lakers. You said Lakers and one other team.
Celtics.
So then it was Celtics.
It was the Lakers with 33 consecutive wins in 1971 and 72 season.
Okay.
Last one. Who holds the record for the most NBA Finals MVP awards? Is it LeBron, Steph Curry, Magic, or MJ?
Has to be MJ, right?
Yes.
I'm like, it has to be MJ. There's
only with 6 Finals MVP awards. That is correct.
We go, young kids. We go. Proper go.
Kelsey, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media and listen in with KNN.
Thank you so much again. Yes, I'm on social. My website's the best way to reach me, KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Follow me on social at The Real K Nelson, Facebook, LinkedIn, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. If you search KNN, I should pop up. And then Listen In With KNN, listen to brand new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on our live stream, and new audio shows that drop every Friday. You can find out more at listeninwithknn.com. Thank you so much for having me. Always a blast.
Absolutely. See you next month. And guys, you can follow me on She Say Sports. On Facebook at She Say Sports, on Instagram at She Say Sports 23. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's our show for today, Kelsey's Corner. Until next time, this is Sonia and Kelsey for She Say Sports. Peace.
Hi, guys.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.